All right, before we start this TLDR, I know what you're thinking. Yes, Simon changed his hairstyle. You can tell it is different.
I look cute now. So for today's TLDR, we're gonna talk about the Korean internet, because even though a lot of people know that the Korean internet is some of the fastest in the world, if not the fastest in the world, it is also one of the most broken internets in the world. Like really badly broken in many ways.
If you don't live in Korea, you don't experience the day-to-day life of being on the internet, but if you're just visiting, you're like, wow, the internet's so fast. This is the greatest. Well, let me tell you guys, there are issues.
We got some things to talk about. So first, let's talk about the positive things. Yes, the internet here is incredibly fast. If you want to download a movie illegally, because I know some of you do, then you could download it in like a minute or so. Seriously, I pressed download and then I walked to the bathroom and I came back and it was all downloaded.
Yeah. If you use Instagram in Korea, it is actually Instagram.
It's Instantgram, but I remember when we were in Australia, it was like delayed gram or non-existent gram. I just couldn't load.
It was really, we were like, what's happening here? Is it broken? My head seems like it's broken.
Instagram has a swirly thing. If I press refresh, pictures pop up like that.
If I want to load a website in Korea, it just instantly loads. And then when we go back home again, we become tiny spoiled children who don't know how to function. However, despite the fast internet speeds, let's say that you live here now and you open up a bank account and you want to do online banking or like online shopping.
Buy stuff.
Should be easy, right?
Anything involving money.
Incorrect. You've just been ActiveX'd.
Let me explain what ActiveX is. It's a set of tools and some security software developed by Microsoft in like the 1990s. And a lot of Korean internet websites base themselves off of ActiveX. So in order for you to actually do any online banking or online shopping, you have to download and install this ActiveX on your computer. Problem number one is it's really, really old and bloated software.
The software is so old that we had to go out and buy a Windows computer in order to do our online banking, but Windows 8 was too far ahead for it to run.
No, you gotta go back to like Internet Explorer 6 and Internet Explorer 7 if you want to use it.
And this is for our bank. That's a bit concerning that you're not updating yourself with the times. Like, what?
Problem number two is ActiveX is Windows stuff. So if you have a Mac, then you can't install ActiveX on your computer and you can't do a lot of basic stuff on the Korean internet.
Now, this may not have been a problem for Korean people maybe several years ago, but there's been a huge boom in Mac technology in Korea. There are Mac stores and iPhones are like crazy. They're everywhere.
Right.
And so the problem is now that a lot of people in Korea are using Mac technology, they find, oh, wait, I can't do my banking on my phone, or I can't internet shop, or what?
And it's not just ActiveX that you have to install on your computer. A lot of different banks and different websites give you additional security software that you have to install on your computer. And the problem is that you wind up installing so many different programs. Like I remember we tried to use it for our bank. There are like 8 different programs we had to install, and they slow you down. Just imagine installing Norton antivirus 10 times on your computer just so you could use a bank. It's a mess.
And we're technologically savvy. Imagine if you're trying to help out your parents or your grandparents use the internet.
Oh man.
Okay, but some of you might be arguing the security is important. It keeps people from, hacking for online banking. Information can remain safe because of this. Really? Because recently, Korea had over 20 million people's IDs and information stolen from their banks, including me, by the way.
Martinez got compromised.
Great. And then, just today,
KT, which is arguably the biggest cell phone company in Korea, just mailed me this today. Hey Simon, all of your information has been compromised and stolen. They just gave us that information today, but people have been hacking them from February 2013. For 13 months this has been going on, and I just found out today.
That's nice. So all of our information, where we live and our ID numbers and our banks and
our alien registration number, our like how many transactions, how much we pay, all that information
it's all
out there now.
There.
ActiveX, you're so good.
Really good at your job, right?
You're good, ActiveX.
Obviously, it's working, don't you think?
Going back to Apple and Mac technology, a lot of people have iPhones, but you find that you can't actually use Apple Maps here, or you can't even use Google Maps here, because the security for map software in Korea is so strict as well that none of those things really work here in Korea. You go over to Japan and you ask here for directions, it'll show you the buildings,
the 3D like rendering.
But if you try to zoom in anywhere in Korea, it's all muddled and fuzzy because you're not allowed to use that here.
Yeah, I think one of the big things that I've noticed with Korea is that they have their own sphere of where they do things. So for example, if you use Naver and Down Maps, okay, no problem.
Fantastic.
You can get all of views in the street, but it's in Korean. So yeah, we can read it and we can use it, but then if I try to send it to someone who's like, let's say visiting, they don't know what's going on. So if you want to use Down and Naver stuff, you've got all access to it, but Google and Apple are very much like kind of pushed out of Korea. They don't want them to be doing stuff here.
In fact, even if you want to use YouTube here, you'll find that it is severely throttled. I know a lot of people talk about net neutrality and whatnot, but try watching YouTube videos here. They load a lot slower than they actually do in Canada.
Yeah.
And Canada's internet is like Flintstones era internet.
Oh, poor Canada.
It's so slow.
It's better than some other countries.
But you can actually watch that, while like here in Korea, you really have to, it just keeps on buffering and pausing because it's actually throttled here.
And so a lot of people keep saying to us, like, that's really weird. Why is YouTube so slow in Korea? I thought it would be faster. That's because they don't want people using YouTube. Don't use YouTube. They're trying to push people to use other Korean businesses.
I think a good way of understanding Korean internet is that it's great within its own little ecosystem of Korea. If you are Korean, then all the things work very well. But if you're an outsider trying to do other things, or an international website, then you might find that things here aren't all too friendly for you.
I would have to say I disagree with that.
Okay.
The reason why is because even Susie said that, yes, she understands ActiveX and that she has to install it, but that it annoys her. And now that she changed over to Mac, she said she couldn't even register for her school programs. So you're thinking that it's just affecting people who are visiting, but I think it's affecting Korean people as well. So let's move on to unintuitive website designs.
Whoa.
Very simple example here. If you want to order from like Domino's Pizza in Korea, so you can actually go to Domino's, the website, you can put in your ID, whether it's Korean or foreign, and then you have to make an account, and then you can actually like order online and have pizza sent to your house. That sounds super awesome.
Brilliant.
Right.
I know a lot of countries don't actually have this, so that's a good thing.
Except a lot of the login forms for these places have been made so that there's a maximum of like 3 characters.
Because most names are like last name and then 2 last names. That's
Kim, Su, Z. Okay, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Except I have some Korean friends whose first names are like Maria. That's just their first name. If you don't enter your exact ID from your card, because Korea is very tight when it comes to security, then you can't log in.
But if your name is longer than 3 characters, then you can't log in either.
And so for us, we can't even begin to, because my last name on my alien card is already past the zone. Who thought of this as a design?
Why?
Like a maximum of 3. Why would you do that?
It's not just screwing over foreigners, it's screwing over Koreans with different names.
But I don't even get why you would begin to build a website and say,
Hold on
a second. No one can be longer than 3 characters. So that kind of stuff I find very frustrating.
And the last thing that I want to talk about, if you are a foreigner living in Korea and you want to capitalize on the amazing internet speed, you're going to find that a lot of the services that you're used to, you can't use anymore. Netflix, for example, Hulu, for example, and pornography, for example, are all blocked here in Korea. The first 2, Netflix and Hulu, aren't necessarily blocked. They just don't offer international services. Porn, on the other hand, many times is blocked. And if you do some online gaming, for example, I bought Final Fantasy 14 because I really want to play it because I love Final Fantasy. It's blocked as well, and I can't play that here. Final Fantasy 14 is an online game. You can't play it offline. You have to be connected online, and it's blocked here.
But why would they block it?
Because, that's why.
I'm just curious, like.
I think it's because Korea is really trying to crack down on teenagers that are gaming online a bit too much.
Doesn't they make a law that they can't stay out past 12 o'clock?
So there's like a lot of like control measures that are put in there now, and since Sony can't comply with those measures because it's not only catering stuff for Korean audiences but international audiences, then Korea says you can't play by our rules, you can't play in our country.
That's so sad. You're like a man who wants to play a video game and has been told that they can't.
Stop nannying me, Korea. Let me play my video games and let the people that I know want to watch porn.
Also, outside of porn, I know a lot of people say that they like watching Korean dramas. And then when they come to Korea, they can't watch them anymore. So it's also blocked. So good luck with that, guys. VPN?
VPN, what? VPN in the house. That copy's not working. VPNs in the. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the restrictions of the Korean internet on our website. So make sure you click on the link here to read more about it.
So I got a whole bunch of questions for you guys. If you're Korean and living in Korea, how do you feel about the Korean internet? Does ActiveX bother you? Or if you're outside Korea, what issues do you have with the internet in your country?
Apart from not being as fast as ours. What?
Fastest internet in the world. Trump Japan. Take it.
What you got, Japan?
Nothing.
What you got? Japan's got porn.
I was gonna say Japan's got porn. And Final Fantasy.
For last week's TLDR, we talked about yellow dust in Korea and what that actually does to you, and then we wound up asking you about your inputs, and some of your comments were extremely awesome. Like, for example, Holy Warrior Fury, who said that in their country they get haboobs, which are dust storms, but the name is haboobs.
That's such a cute name for something terrible.
Does anybody else find that name amazing? Question: can you get on the water during a haboob? Because then you'll be motorboating in a haboob. Get it?
I like your little like, I was thinking of something funny, so I switched. XO Kai, thanks for watching, Kai, said they're from Malaysia and they get crushed with haze. They said it's so bad that when you're driving, it looks like something out of Silent Hill.
That's crazy.
That's creepy.
I don't know, like I think that it's very different than what we have for yellow dust. I don't think it's really dusty. I think it's more just pollution-y. I'm not too sure about the haze there, but I know that a lot of people in the comments were complaining about the haze there. The user Zell13 How You Forever 9, like obviously the best name ever, showed us a picture from the Philippines of a bus shitting in your mouth.
You're making it
so...
They're on a motorcycle and the bus was like...
A bus just unloaded a big cloudy turd in your mouth. It is terrifying. Supposedly this kind of stuff happens often in the Philippines.
Yes. They should get checked for their
I've never experienced that. I know that whenever we're on our scooter in Korea, we always try to like stay away from the buses because we always hear when they go poof, poof. So I know that the buses are farting, but just not big black turds.
And then the big black turd came.